For those of you loyal brothers who are regulars on this channel, you know that I keep a regular check on the divorce trends in the US. Today, I'm going to share some brief updates that will further tell you about the society spiraling out of control around us. Most people have heard that half of all marriages end in divorce. But is there more to this? These divorce statistics shed more light on when and how marriages come to an end in the United States. Divorce Trends 2023 Update. The truth is that far more people get married over the course of each year than get divorced. These divorce statistics show what happens to marriages that end, and when and how couples decide to end them. What about the famous statistic that half of all marriages end in divorce? That's true, but only when it comes to first marriages, half of which are dissolved. Second and third marriages actually fail at a far higher rate. When marriages end, usually some time has passed since the wedding. In fact, the average length of a marriage prior to divorce is 8 years. So, divorces take time. Contested divorces usually take over a year to finalize, although simple divorces can be completed in as little as 3 months. Divorce comes at a big cost, with couples spending an average of $7,000 to dissolve their union. Many who divorce don't give up on the institution of marriage, though. A total of 64% of men and 52% of women get married again after their marriage has ended. Fewer marriages and fewer divorces. Trends in divorce have changed over time, with the number of people dissolving their unions decreasing. The divorce rate has decreased from a rate of 4.0 to 2.5 since 2000. Both the marriage and divorce rates have declined over time. In 2000, a total of 944,000 divorces and annulments occurred. The marriage rate has declined too, dropping from 8.2 per population in 2000 to 6.00 per population in 2021. Third marriages have the highest divorce rate, 73%. Many people accept it as a fact that half of all marriages end in divorce. But as mentioned above, this applies only to first marriages. Those who wed multiple times face a far higher rate of divorce. In fact, 67% of second marriages end, and 73% of third marriages are dissolved. The divorced choose singledom. 40% of new marriages include a partner who is remarrying. The majority of marriages, which is 60%, are first marriages for both partners, but as many as 20% of unions involve one person who has been married before, while another 20% are repeat marriages for both parties. Only 6% of divorced couples remarry each other. Divorce is the final legal end to a marriage, but divorce statistics show that couples sometimes want to be married again to each other after formally dissolving their union. In fact, a total of 6% of divorced couples get remarried to each other. When this occurs, the odds of future success are high. A full 72% of reunited couples remain married after reuniting. Divorcees are more likely to die earlier than married people. That's what the latest trends are also suggesting. Finances are incredibly important in marriage. Divorce can have surprising and long-lasting consequences. One of those consequences is an increased risk of early death. Sadly, the mortality rate is 1,363 per 100,000 for divorcees compared with 779 per 100,000 for married couples. Divorced men bear the brunt of this increased risk, with mortality rates of 1,772 per 100,000, compared to divorced women with mortality rates of 1,095 per 100,000. Decisions about the family home are some of the most contentious when a marriage ends and a property settlement is determined. This is a common issue that must be resolved, as 53.4% of people divorced in 2022 owned their own homes. Just 46.6% were renters. What leads to divorce? Couples who live together before marriage are more likely to divorce. Here's a new one. And I guess this is because people change after marriage. Men and women are accustomed to a different version of each other before marriage. Marriage changes things as the trends suggest. Living together prior to marriage is one predictor of the likelihood of divorce. A total of 57% of couples who did not cohabitate prior to marriage had a union that lasted 20 or more years, compared with just 46% who did live together before tying the knot. Many factors could explain this, including the fact that couples with stronger religious beliefs may be both less likely to live together before marriage and less likely to divorce. Having friends who are divorced increases your risk of divorce. The marital stability within a couple's social network also plays a role in whether their union lasts. Couples who have friends who divorce have a 75% increase in the risk of their own marriage ending. Even couples with 2 degrees of separation from divorce still have a 33% greater risk. Because of this link, some sociologists believe divorce is a social contagion. Couples report many different reasons for ending a marital relationship. However, these are the most common explanations cited by divorcing couples. Most common reason for divorce. Lack of commitment is the most common reason for divorce. Marriage is not always easy, so success requires both spouses to be dedicated to their union and serious about making it last. That's why it is not surprising that a lack of commitment could spell disaster for a couple. In fact, 75% of individuals and couples cited lack of commitment as the reason for their divorce. This was the most common cause of a marriage ending, exceeding even infidelity. 60% of divorced couples cited infidelity as a reason for their divorce. Infidelity is another leading cause of divorce, with 60% of couples citing a partner's unfaithfulness as a reason their union ended. When a marriage is supposed to be monogamous and one party fails to fulfill this obligation, trust can be lost, and the marriage may be irretrievably broken. Other factors for divorce. When a couple ends a marriage for reasons such as abuse, the divorce process may look different. An uncontested divorce arranged through a mediator may not be the best approach, despite its benefits in ordinary situations, due to the difficulties of an abuse victim negotiating a settlement with an abusive partner. The divorce rate steadily decreases from 40% to 30% as income increases. See, I told you that income matters. Finances matter. As a couple's incomes increase, divorce rates tend to decrease, but only to a certain point. Once a couple has a household income of around $200,000, divorce rates remain steady at around 30%. The rate of divorce does not decline again until household income reaches $600,000, at which point it drops closer to 25%. However, once income exceeds $600,000, the rate of divorce once again begins to steadily climb back up to 30%. This suggests that increasing income can reduce the risk of divorce. But once income climbs too high, a different set of complications can threaten the stability of a marriage. Divorce rates are higher among couples below the poverty line. Living below the poverty level can cause enormous stress, which can have consequences for a marriage. One study found as many as 46% of adults ages 18 to 55 who live below the poverty level have divorced. The American Community Survey conducted by the U.S. Census also revealed that 12% of men and 19% of women who lived below the poverty line were divorced in 2022. Divorce rates are similar among men and women not in the labor force. When one partner does not work, this can impact the chances of a marriage surviving. This is true regardless of whether a male or a female partner remains at home. In 2022, for example, 21% of divorces involved men not in the labor force, and 22% of divorces involved women who were not working. Age is an important factor. Divorce statistics show that each partner's age at the time of marriage can also have an impact on how likely it is the union will last. Couples on both the older and younger end of the spectrum tend to face higher divorce rates. Couples who marry before age 32 experience lower divorce rates. There is a sweet spot in terms of marital age for those looking for the least risk of divorce. That's because couples who marry at 25 are 50% less likely to divorce compared with couples who marry at 20. But for those who marry after age 32, divorce rates increase by 5% per year until the age they are wed. The average age of people who divorced in 2022 is 46 for men and 44 for women. As people grow older, the chance they have ended a marriage increases. In fact, 42% of people between ages 45 and 54 have been divorced. This makes sense as it takes time both to get married and time for the union to fail. The median age of a first marriage is increasing. Many couples have chosen to delay marriage, often for financial reasons or due to changing cultural norms. In fact, in 2022, the median age of marriage was 32 for men and 30 for women. By contrast, in 2012, the average age for women marrying was 26, and the average age for men was 28. These older marriages could potentially increase the divorce risk if couples wait too long to tie the knot, and face increased difficulties in learning to cohabitate and merge their lives. We're going to let you guys know the other factors leading to divorce and the reasons for a decline in marriages in the US in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world. Do comment and share your thoughts. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.